This is the Wikipedia page for Practical Joke.
This is the Wikipedia page for Practical Joke.
Welcome to WikiListen, the podcast where we read Wikipedia pages and provide commentary. I'm Rachel Teichman, LMSW.
And I'm Victor Varnado, KSN.
Now, I seem to remember that we were going to record this for April Fool's Day, but then we decided to do instead.
That's true. And that was a great April Fool's episode. But now we get back to Practical Joke, which there's a section that I'm excited about because of how we read these. I don't know if I'll read my favorite section, but we'll see what happens, everybody.
Is that a joke?
No, there's a favorite section of this whole thing that I want to read.
Oh, okay.
And we'll see what happens because we go back and forth, but I don't know which one will land on me, which
Got
paragraph.
Well, if you have enough childhood anxiety, you'll look ahead while I start reading. Practical joke. For other uses, see practical joke disambiguation. Prank redirects here. For the 2016 Canadian film, see prank film. For other uses, see prank disambiguation. A practical joke or prank is a mischievous trick played on someone, generally causing the victim to experience embarrassment, perplexity, confusion, or discomfort. A person who performs a practical joke is called a practical joker or a prankster. Other terms for practical jokes include gag, rib, jape, or shenanigan. Now,
Is jape popular?
I felt really weird saying it out loud, but
It sounds like racist, right?
it does. It really does. And also, those four terms are bold, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, they are in bold. I don't know why. That doesn't usually happen.
I Googled the word jape, and it's a practical joke.
You know what? I think that they're bold because if you put jape in Wikipedia, it'll redirect here. All right, here we go. Practical jokes differ from confidence tricks or hoaxes in that the victim finds out or is let in on the joke rather than being talked into handing over money or other valuables. Practical jokes are different from stealing. Yeah, I agree. Practical jokes are generally lighthearted and without lasting effect. They aim to make the victim feel humbled or foolish, but not victimized or humiliated. Thus, most practical jokes are affectionate gestures of humor and designed to encourage laughter. However, practical jokes performed with cruelty can constitute bullying, whose intent is to harass or exclude rather than reinforce social bonds through ritual humbling.
Ritual humbling.
Ritual humbling.
Some countries in Western culture traditionally emphasize the carrying out of practical jokes on April Fool's Day and Mischief Night.
Mischief Night.
Mischief Night. That's the night before Halloween, and it's when you throw eggs at houses and toilet paper into the trees.
That's what Mischief Night is, the before Halloween. That's a thing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like in Jersey, you call it either Mischief Night or Goosey Night.
Mischief Night is an informal holiday on which children, teenagers, and adults engage in jokes, pranks, vandalism, and or parties. It is known by a variety of names, including Devil's Night, Gate Night, Goosey Night, Moving Night, Cabbage Night, and Mat Night.
Yeah, it's a good time. The only bad part is like when teenagers smash your pumpkins. That's not cool. I don't like that. But the toilet paper in the trees, hilarious.
Description. This section possibly contains original research. Please improve it by verifying the claims made and adding inline citations. Statements consisting only of original research should be removed. June 2021. A practical joke is practical because it consists of someone doing something that is physical in contrast to a verbal or written joke. For example, the joker who is setting up and conducting the practical joke might hang a bucket above a doorway and rig the bucket using pulleys so when the door opens, the bucket dumps water. The joker would then wait for the victim to walk through the doorway and be drenched by the bucket of water. Objects can feature in practical jokes like fake vomit, chewing gum, bugs, exploding cigars, stink bombs, costumes, whoopee cushions, and Chinese finger traps. A practical joke can be as long as a person desires. It does not have to be short-lived.
That's a great paragraph.
It's wonderful.
Practical jokes often occur in offices, usually to surprise coworkers. Examples include covering computer accessories with Jell-O, wrapping a desk with Christmas paper or aluminum foil, or filling it with balloons. Practical jokes also commonly occur during sleepovers when teens play pranks on their friends as they come into the home, enter a room, or even as they sleep.
I've drawn a couple of penises on people's foreheads when they sleep. Let me tell you that.
I haven't done that, but I have engaged in many, many other practical jokes.
American humorist H. Allen Smith wrote a 320-page book in 1953 called The Complete Practical Joker that contains numerous examples of practical jokes. The book became a bestseller not only in the United States, but also in Japan. Moira Marsh has written an entire volume about practical jokes. She found that in the US, males perpetuate such gags more often than females.
I misread the word perpetrate at first. I'm not going to say what I read it as, but just y'all should know that I misread it.
Great.
Student prank. University students have a long association with pranks and japes. There's that word again. These can often involve petty crimes, such as the theft of traffic cones and other public property, or hoaxes. That's definitely true. When I was in college, we had a traffic cone as the centerpiece of our living room table.
As did I. It's really stupid. Yes, I had so many signs and just dumb.
Yeah.
Theft. One classic target of student theft are traffic cones. The issue of the theft and misuse of traffic cones by students has gained enough prominence that a spokesperson from the UK National Union of Students stated that stereotypes of students stealing traffic cones are outdated.
Some universities have gone as far as to devote entire pages of legislation and advice for students with regards to the consequences and laws involving the theft of traffic cones. Misuse of traffic cones in Scotland has even resulted in serious physical injury.
The traffic cone theft issue came to such a head in the United Kingdom in the 1990s that it was brought up in Parliament.
Awesome. In 2002, FIFE Constabulary declared a traffic cone amnesty, allowing University of St. Andrews students to return stolen traffic cones without fear of prosecution. A police spokesman had said that the theft of traffic cones had become an almost weekly occurrence.
And this is the section that I wanted to read, and it landed on me. This is great.
Yay.
Famous examples. One practical joke recalled as his favorite by the playwright Charles MacArthur concerns the American painter and bohemian character Waldo Pierce. While living in Paris in the 1920s, Pierce made a gift of a very big turtle to the woman who was the concierge of his building. The woman doted on the turtle and lavished care on it. A few days later, Pierce substituted a somewhat larger turtle for the original one. This continued for some time, with the surreptitious introduction of a larger and larger turtles into the woman's apartment. The concierge, beside herself with happiness, displayed her miraculous turtle to the entire neighborhood. Pierce then began to sneak in and replace the turtle with smaller and smaller ones, to her bewildered distress. This prank became the storyline behind Roald Dahl's 1990 novel, Essio Trot. Isn't that great?
An amazing prank.
Amazing. Just her with a smaller turtle be like, I don't know what's happening to the turtle. That's great.
I love that she fell for it. Because
you must have thought the turtle was growing really fast and then suddenly starts getting smaller.
But also, like, different turtles look different. They behave differently. I don't know.
Well, it's still funny. It's great.
It is still funny. The idea is funny. Successful modern pranks often take advantage of the modernization of tools and techniques. In Canada, engineering students have a reputation for annual pranks. At the University of British Columbia, these usually involve leaving a Volkswagen Beetle in an unexpected location, such as suspended from the Golden Gate Bridge or from the Lions Gate Bridge. In response, other students at that university often vandalize the engineering students' white and red concrete cairn. Engineering students at Cambridge University in England undertook a similar prank, placing an Austin 7 car on top of the University Senate House building. Pranks can also adapt to the political context of their era. Students at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, have a particular reputation for their hacks.
Not unlike the stone louse of Germany, the jackalope in the American West has become an institutionalized practical joke perennially perpetuated by ruralites as a class on tourists, most of who have never heard of the decades-old myth. The phrase, this is a really crazy phrase, was institutionalized practical jokes perennially perpetuated by ruralites.
That is a very fun phrase that I bet you won't find in a lot of other spaces.
Or
Thanks,
any
Wikipedia.
spaces.
In the 1993 film Grumpy Old Men, two neighbors and former friends, John and Max, play cruel practical jokes on each other. It escalates when a beautiful new neighbor is involved and both set their sights on her. Ooh, sounds like a good drama to me.
In the 1995 film Grumpier Old Men, John and Max have cooled off their feud. They later play cruel practical jokes on a beautiful, determined Italian owner who's trying to turn the former bait shop into a romantic restaurant.
The 2003 TV movie Windy City Heat consists of an elaborate practical joke on the film's star, Perry Caravallo, who is led to believe that he is starring in the faux action film Windy City Heat, where the filming, which is ostensibly for the film's DVD extras, actually documents a long chain of pranks and jokes performed at Caravallo's expense.
Oh my God, I've seen that movie. It's so funny.
Really?
It's insanely cruel, but so funny.
Aw.
It's this guy who is, not super smart. And
Aw.
he goes to this show called The Ding Dong Show, and he performs all the time, and people mostly laugh at him, not with him. But then they make this whole movie around him where he is auditioning. He auditions for the movie, and then he's like in the movie, and they keep doing practical jokes, like things like the star of the movie would never have to do. So like there's one joke where they have him watching the catering table, like he's standing by the catering table, and someone's like, hey, make sure nobody messes with this. And then he's supposed to be the star of the movie, but he doesn't know that the star of the movie wouldn't have to watch the catering table. So then they have him watching the catering table, and two guys start playing catch with a football around the catering table. And then one falls into the catering table, and he's like so distraught.
Aw.
And then people come back, we're like, what happened? It's such a funny movie. But it is also funny. It is both mean and it's really funny.
That sounds like the kind of thing that I would have fallen for like 2 years ago. So maybe it's hitting a little too hard.
Maybe even now.
Wow.
In the UK, a group that calls itself Troll Station plays pranks on people, including police officers and government employees. They record their escapades and upload them to YouTube. In one such video, one of the group's actors poses as a palace guard. Some of the actors have been fined or charged.
This is a great article. I love a good practical joke in which nobody is harmed.
I do too. I like practical jokes in which no one is harmed. And except for the fact that maybe that woman with the turtle thought that it might be dying, or who knows what she thought. Yeah, these are great. I mean, there is most often a victim in practical jokes, but I mean, this page is awesome. And Windy City Heat is hilarious.
I believe you. This has been the Wikipedia page for Practical Joke. Thanks for listening to WikiListen. You can find us at wikilisten.com and on all social media at WikiListen, except for Twitter, which is at wiki_listen. And please let us know what your favorite practical joke is. Don't forget to subscribe.
If there's a particular page that you'd like us to read, please let us know.